Hello class, this is Dr. Ogilvy, and this video is going to emphasize the lab resources in the course, beginning with WebMic. I would need to click on Module 1, excuse me. So Module 1, when you're in there, you will see that you have the assignments, and for the lab assignments, all the reference to units in the assignment table are in the histology laboratory exercises, a guide for study of WebMic specimens that you were supposed to purchase. In addition to the lab assignments in WebMic, we also have BioLucidate Lab 1 specimens, and there will be BioLucidate specimens in each of the subsequent modules. And I will visit the BioLucidate Lab collection for Module 1 and comment on some of the specimens and how best to use them to prepare for especially Part B of the module quizzes and Part B of the midterm and Part C of the final exam. So first about WebMic. Of course, by now you should have explored and attempted to make sure that WebMic is working. So I'm going to spend a little time on that. The second, we've given adequate instructions. If you have any difficulty with WebMic, there's a link right here that takes you to the tech and troubleshooting part of the course, and then there's a whole section on WebMic. And so and it's telling you how to enter the URLs into the Java collection of URLs that are exceptions for allowing the Java applets to run in a browser. And so I'm going to go back now to the WebMic part of the course, where I'm just going to click on, I'm using Mozilla here now, and you'll see that I have Mozilla 50. I'm told that Mozilla 52 will block all Java applets, particularly the legacy ones that we use in WebMic. We are working on a solution for this in the long term to convert WebMic to HTML5, and we're also working on a shorter term solution. But for now, those of you that are using Mozilla, you need to consider stop the update. Go and I will post on the bulletin when I post the next bulletin with these videos. I will post how to do that. So you could reserve, say, Mozilla as one browser which you don't use for security, banking, and things like that, and not update it. That's one solution. And it also has to be the 32-bit installation of Firefox, because they've already blocked the 64-bit. Okay, but for right now, I have 32-bit installed, and I have version 50. And if I click on the second one, which is the fastest one, you will see a blank screen like this, and we have another video with WebMic that's shown this, but I'm just giving you the time that it takes to come up with the running the applet. So already it has brought up the screen for WebMic, and I can proceed in WebMic. So I'm not going to comment on that anymore, because there is a video in the WebMic place on the course menu that shows you how walks you through using WebMic as well as its relationship to the lab manual. So let's click that off, and I will show you in Google Chrome where I can bring this up. And in Google Chrome, I have loaded several of the venues for WebMic right in here, and this is the one that I just pulled up there. And you will see that when I bring up Google Chrome, it will not load. But I did install in this PC the IE tab. If I click on that, it puts the WebMic in the second address bar, and then it will run it. And there it is. So I can run WebMic in Google Chrome on my PC, and I can run it in Mozilla. But I know many of you, actually 60% of the class, by the recent last semester tally of students who have Macintosh versus PCs. About 60% of the class will have Macintosh. So we do give guidance on using a browser in Macintosh to access WebMic. I think that the safest one to use, however, is probably Internet Explorer. So those of you that have a WebMic, and I have Internet Explorer that's loading up over here in a second, just a minute. So now I have Internet Explorer over here, and Internet Explorer is not as picky and is not giving any announcements about blocking the Java applets in the future. So for now, it's probably one of the safest browsers to use. And so I'm going to run actually I have several. I'm not going to use this one, but the one I brought up is the same one. It's the second URL. And you see it's running in Internet Explorer with no problem. The challenge to the Macintosh users is to install Internet Explorer in your Macintosh and try to use that. Safari is a problem. If some of you make Safari work with WebMic and with the Mac, I hope you will post on the discussion board under the WebMic technical problems and tell us how you did that. And anybody that gets the Internet Explorer working, it would be very helpful to us and to the rest of the class if you post there. I don't have a Mac myself, and neither does our TA or the other professor for the course, Dr. Sawyer. Okay, so enough about WebMic and its access. I'm trusting that all of you will make it work. That last semester, very, very few students had any problem with WebMic. But the handwriting is on the wall, and we're trying to do something about that for the future. Okay, so other videos are here. I really strongly suggest that you watch this WebMic video tour, and you also watch the orientation to the WebMic study guide is in use with WebMic. Now, here are the first 4 units of the histology laboratory exercises in case any of you have not yet been able to purchase the manual. But beyond that, you will have to purchase it to see the rest of the units. All right, I think we pretty much covered WebMic and its use in the course. And basically, we will capture images from WebMic, as well as static images from other sources. About 25% the images on the quiz on Part A will be from other sources other than WebMic. And we simply, the graded practice quiz will give you a good insight in the kinds of images that we will present and the questions we will ask. So now we are back in the Module 1 folder. And I just want to emphasize here, in addition to the lab assignments using WebMic and companion lab manual, the specimens in BioLucid Lab 1 should also be studied in order to get the feel and experience of interacting with virtual slide specimens. And I might add, to prepare yourself to do well in Part B of each of the module quizzes, the midterm, and the final exam. So now I'm going to bring over BioLucid viewer window as it appears when you log in with your cloud set up to access the histology lab specimens in BioLucid viewer and the BioLucid collection. So here are actually the specimens in Module 1 lab, and this is exactly the way it would look to each of you. And you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 specimens. And this is our attempt to give you a chance to study outside of WebMic of canned images or captured images and see the dynamic specimens more realistically, like if you were looking at these specimens using a glass slide on a microscope with the objectives and eyepieces of a microscope. Now, when you reach there for Module 1, you can also, if this does not appear, these are the bookmarks. You can bring those up by clicking on the little book up here. You see that? Take it off like that. Do not click on this. This is comparing images, and it will just confuse you. It's a grid view, and we have not disabled that, but I I strongly suggest that you just leave that alone. Now, of course, you already, perhaps if you explored, you know that you can go to the quizzes and exams module, that is cloud, and if you connect to that, then you're going to see a place to log in for Blackboard. But we're not doing that now, and there is a video to show you that on the course website, so take advantage of that. I'm going to go back to the lab cloud connection. And so now I can open up the bookmarks, and you can see here, and actually each one of these bookmarks is probably the first annotation. If you double click on it, it will bring up, and you can adjust these like this, and then also show your annotations over here. So in each one you bring up by the bookmarks, you will see the first annotation here. In this particular one, there's only one annotation. But if we click on the second one here, it's going to bring up the second specimen. And you're going to see a number of annotations here for this specimen. So to study these specimens, that's one approach, to use the bookmarks over here. I'll show you another approach in a minute, but we've given you text and inviting you to explore the specimen and giving you, for example, the arrows indicate the X indicates the lumen, as it says in the text here, and the arrows are pointing to the epithelium. In order to study that epithelium, you'll need to enlarge that. On the PC, it's relatively easy to use your mouse wheel if you have one, or you can do Control or Shift X. Sorry about that. It's Z on your keyboard. Press that down, and then you can draw a marquee, and it automatically enlarges it like that. Or you can use the increase in magnification by clicking on the plus signs here. You can actually take a picture of this by here using this wrench, and a camera appears, and when you take a picture, you can actually take a snapshot of it, and you'll name it and save a JPEG if you want to do that. But using the mouse wheel, I'm going to go up, and you see I can move around here to move this to the epithelium or away from it. Put this in the middle, and then this is the way I can examine and see that this is truly pseudostratified, indicating the disorganization of the nuclei. You cannot see them at two distinct layers, and the little brush-like projections from the surface of the cells. And I can artificially enlarge this. I don't recommend it routinely. Go like that. Now we're in an empty magnification. You can see the extensions on the cells a little better. And if we go back now to a little lower magnification, so this is pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. So what do? You go through here and study each of these specimens and think about the lecture relevant to that type of epithelium. Think about and refer back to the lab manual as well as WebMic and what you learned there, and put all that together and work through these specimens in order to prepare yourself for Part B, in which we, by and large, give you unknown specimens. I mean, it will be, if we ask you about this epithelium, it will be pseudostratified ciliated epithelium, but might not look exactly like this or be in this context. So I hope that's clear to you, and I want to emphasize one or two more things before I close this video. So the other way to study the lab specimens without using the bookmarks, you can expand this to make it larger and then double click. Well, in my case, I would recommend you just single click, because it seems it takes much longer for these specimens to load if you just make one click. And then you can see the annotations, so it should show up here pretty soon. the annotation for this specimen was taking a longer to load, so I clicked the refresh button. And that is something you can do in a quiz or exam if you have clicked the link in Blackboard and the specimen's not showing up. Well, the specimen should show up, but if the annotations do not show up, just click on refresh and it will bring them back. So that's the other way, and you can click here to close each specimen, and then you can double, again, I keep trying to remember not to double click, just single click. It'll bring up the specimen shortly, and then the annotation will appear over here. And there they are. And you see you have multiple annotations in this specimen. If you go here and click on the third one down, you have to click Go To. Once you do that, now we've boxed in a certain area we're drawing your attention to and giving you some information, asking you some questions about it. So I guess the last thing I want to point out to you, if you diligently study these, it will help you on Part B of the quizzes and exams. But I'm going to take you back to the course website and point out a couple things. So on the course website, under Biolucida, you will have, of course, the help and videos helping you to understand and use the, excuse me here. Okay, it's telling you in which operating systems Macintosh is working on Biolucida. And also, I need to revise this, is actually Biolucida Viewer 5.7. In fact, I'm going to revise that right now. I forgot to do that, and then get back to the video. So I revised that for Biolucida Viewer 5.7, and you should peruse this statistics here from fall semester 2015, just to see the requirement for Mac users. Some of the setups Mac users used this past year would not be compatible with 5.2, actually 5.7 that you install. I need to revise that also. I just took that text out because it's really not relevant. We may update this, but this will give you some idea of how previous users have been successful in setting up Biolucida Viewer. And also, then we give you a video for installing Biolucida and also tips for viewing specimens in Biolucida Viewer. So be sure to watch all these videos. And then I want to take you back to the course website where we have virtual slide exploration under outside resources. And there are videos here of many specimens created by a pathologist. They're short and they can be quite helpful. There's also an excellent collection of virtual slides that comes out of University of Minnesota Medical School. If you click on this, then you have to do another click. And it may be that this is not found. Let me pause. Oh, I verified by opening this up in Internet Explorer. This is working. So basically, you go to Home and you take the slide box, and then you can click on any collection here. And there is simple epithelia, and when you click on it, then you can enlarge these specimens. And you can, if you click on the renal corpuscle, it will take you that. It makes comments where you can see that it's lined with simple squamous epithelium. They don't put any labels on the specimens, but it's another way of studying. And if I go back to what we found, they say click on Home, and now it works. So that resource is an excellent resource to use outside the course for those that can get your study more efficient and take advantage of the outside resources. So here is a message here. Notice to all users, we are in the process of converting the website from Adobe Flash to HTML5. And so if you find any broken links, and I know this person, so I'm going to go through here and check, and I will advise the person if there's any problems that I can find. But again, it's one of the best collections of virtual slides that I know about in the country. Okay, I think I have completed your tour of studying BioLucida specimens, virtual slide specimens, in your BioLucida Lab Cloud access using BioLucida Viewer. One last comment. Think of each of the entities: epithelium, connective tissue, muscle, nerve, kidney, adrenal gland, etc., any entity as judged by the lecture topic and the lab topic. Put the two together. Try to integrate. Try to think that you are learning about epithelial tissue, of which there are about 8 types. Try to think you're learning about the histological organization of the kidney and the various parts of it and their function. If you put that together and do not think of lab and lecture as separate, of course you have to study them separately, but you are learning about the kidney. You're not learning just about didactic information and lab information. You want to put the two together, and that's what we challenge you with in Part B of every quiz and exam. Okay, I'm going to conclude this video and wishing you all very good results in the course.